Hi everyone and welcome to this month's tutorial video. Thank you for helping me choosing the topic that is important for you, which is pencil portrait process. So in this video I'm going to take you guys through my process of drawing in a traditional way with pencil. I'm going to tell you about two inseparable parts of the creative work. The practical, technical part of the process, but also what's going on in my head while drawing. So let's say I can divide the whole drawing process into 5 parts, which are preparations, choosing references, sketching, enjoying my drawing, and finishing it. First, I prepare myself to draw. At this moment, I'm organizing my desk and art supplies. I'm choosing what I'm gonna use this day. I'm organizing my space just to be comfortable. I know it's common to have, artistic mess on the desk, but it doesn't work for me. I like to be prepared, and clean desk helps me to focus. It's also about motivation, I guess, because when you have your desk cleaned, it's harder to just resign from doing the next steps, Okay, so here we have some of my favorite art supplies, some pencils, erasers, and a sketchbook. I chose a Winsor & Newton sketchbook with smooth white bristle paper. I have 2 types of regular pencil, 2B mechanical pencil, and 3 types of eraser. A regular one, putty rubber, and a thin tumble eraser for details. When I have everything organized, I'm choosing a reference photo. Usually at this moment I'm scrolling through Pinterest, but this time I had it already in my head. So this is the reference. Now I can start to do a very light sketch with HB pencil. Right now I'm trying to see with my imagination where the drawing will be placed on the paper. First layers of my sketches are usually very light and delicate. They actually disappear under the next layers. It's something that I do also when I draw digitally. First, I sketch the general shapes, and then I lower the opacity to do a fresh drawing on the next layer. This is very similar. I search for basic shapes, distances, and proportions, just to have general idea. These are not correct, and I know this. It's just I need to place my way of thinking somewhere, and yeah, that's how it's happening with very, very light sketch that I can, erase later and put an actual drawing on top of it. The sketching process is never the same for me. Sometimes I have a good flow and I find the proportions easily. Sometimes it's a long and frustrating process of drawing and erasing and drawing and erasing again. In this case, I chose a reference that I thought I would be comfortable with, but the pressure of recording everything was, very distracting. At this point, I was thinking, oh my god, I cannot do this. I cannot draw. My hand isn't working properly. How should I hold my hand? People are expecting a video and I can't draw, oh my god. So, yeah, of course I'm trying to comfort myself in my mind. I'm telling myself, hey, don't worry, you can do this. But then I see the nose or chin or something that went completely wrong, and I'm again like, I'll give people their money back. I cannot do this. So, yeah, that was very frustrating, but anyway, sorry for this. I'm just trying to say that we all struggle with a process sometimes. Learning is not a linear thing. It's not like you're getting a little bit better every day. There are ups and downs and, different moods or other circumstances, like this eye of the camera that I need to get used to. Okay, but enough about what's in my head. Let's focus what's happening on the paper. So I'm trying to catch all the proportions, angles, and the specific features of the model. I'm constantly comparing sizes and distances in the face. It's like how big is the nose comparing to the eyes? How many eyes would fit between the tip of the nose and the lips? What's the angle of the chin? How thick are the eyebrows comparing to the eyes? There's a lot of calculation, as you can see, and it's all going on in my head all the time. It can be pretty confusing. So my dad, who is also an artist, told me a good tip one day. I think I was a kid and I remember it till this time. It was, look at the reference much more often than at your own drawing. Look at it, think about it, and then draw. But mostly look at your reference. I think it's very helpful because many of us have a tendency to focus completely on a drawing, which is, we want it to be perfect and pretty and everything, but that's not the case, you know? Okay, so let's focus on Billie's face. It's not showed completely from the front, but it's not like 3/4 either. It's something in between. Also, we can see her face a little bit from the bottom. She's standing in artificial light, maybe a bathroom or something like this, so the contrast is high and shadows are strong. Muscles of her face are kind of relaxed, like she was sleepy or something. You know, her eyes are halfway closed. But also the bottom lip is a bit pouted. Okay, so I need to switch recording to my phone because card in my camera was full, sorry about that. Anyway, I'm still in the same stage, which is sketching and searching of the proportions and angles and everything. It's still kind of frustrating. I need to erase the eyes because something was wrong with them. And now I am trying another way, which is very common in my sketches. I'm starting to draw from the center, which is nose. I don't know why, but I really do this very often. I like to start from the center and then I can maybe easier calculate the distances to the next feature. Like when I have nose drawn, I can estimate, you know, where the lip should start and start to draw lip. Yeah, that's one of the ways. Also, you know what? I just like to draw noses. I don't know why, maybe because they're like geometrical, not so smooth and everything. It's maybe the construction is easier for me to understand. Yeah, I like drawing noses. I cannot say the same thing about lips. Yeah, I'm struggling here a lot with her lips, with beautiful Billie's lips. I can already see what went wrong here, but anyway, I'm just trying to have my base to just erase it later and start over on top of it. I think it's another important rule to just, you know, go for it. Don't think that you will make a mistake. It's pretty helpful actually when you make a mistake and you can see this and then you can improve it, you know. Without drawing it, without action, you cannot improve it. So yeah, let's just draw, let's see what happens, and if it's light enough, you can erase it and improve, erase and improve, and yeah, we will get there, don't worry. As you can see, I opened the reference photo on my iPad because, yeah, the phone was too small and also I needed it to record my video, so yeah. I think it's pretty helpful when you don't need to, you know, like enlarge the photo in your head and then draw it. You can see the actual size next to your drawing. Yeah, I needed this one. right now because I struggled a lot and it was a long time for me to draw, you know. I don't usually draw as long as now, but yeah, I'm recording it, so that's the difficult part for me. Okay guys, look what happens now. I'm going to erase with putty rubber most of the lines. You know why? Because I was pretty happy with the drawing. Not because it's all bad, you know. It's because the lines were too strong and dark and I cannot draw on top of them. It's the same thing when I draw digitally. It's like lowering the opacity. Now I'll be able to draw like on the next layer, only the necessary lines. And this way we went to fourth part, which is enjoying my drawing. I'm not so frustrated anymore. I think I can manage to do this drawing, so yeah, I'm starting to enjoy it. I'm starting to draw with fine lines, to do a simple shading. Yeah, it's still not so obvious, you know. I still need to estimate, I still need to think about anatomy and to not ruin everything, but yeah, that's more pleasant than the previous part, for sure. Okay, so here you can see that I'm breaking a rule a little bit because I'm adding a shading, and maybe that should be made at the end of the drawing, but I wasn't completely sure that everything is fine because the photo, the reference was with a strong shading, with a high contrast, and I needed to check if the similarity isn't correct or is it fine, but without shading it looks weird. So I think that's another important rule, that you can break the rules. You can even add some details like eyelashes at the middle of the process, but you know, you just need to know the rules to break them. Here it was very helpful for me, so I can move on because I know that was the case, the shading of the eye. Yeah, I think it's pretty fine. Maybe the second eye will not be so easy to draw because half of her eye is under her hair, and yeah, that's not easy. But yeah, I will try and we'll see. Here you can see an example of how I do the frames of shades, if that makes any sense. I draw a line in which will be shading or hatching, like in here, you know. So I mark the area with the lines and then I do the shading. It's easier for me, you know, just to mark where the shadows will go. Also, some of these lines, not all, but some of these lines look kind of nice. It's, yeah, part of my style, so I leave them to just be there to the end of the drawing. I think it's pretty cool effect. It's kind of like forming lines, So it shows the 3D, like this line on the nose, and that I will later put on the cheeks. Yeah, I think it's nice and it's cool, and it can stay on my drawing. Right now, I think most of the features are placed correctly, so I can start using stronger lines. It's like adding next layers in digital art. This way, the drawing gets more dimensional. It's happening because light lines seems to look like farther from us, and the stronger ones look like closer. That's why it's important to use different values of the lines. It can be pretty scary, I know, I've been there. I was afraid to do too strong shading and too big contrast. I think most of us have a tendency to use very low contrast and everything is in a similar part of a grayscale. It can be intimidating because you're afraid to ruin the drawing and that you won't be able to erase so strong lines or shading, but don't worry, it comes with practice. I'm still learning it. see that I'm starting to use a very soft pencil. It's 8B, so it's very dark, almost black. I'm using it for details that I can see on the reference that are very dark, like some parts of the hair, bottom part of the nose, or eyelashes. Also, I'm using it to focus attention on some parts of the drawing. I don't draw all the details like each separate hair, but I show some parts that I find important. On this drawing, I focused on the face expression, and the hair, it's kind of symbolic. I know it was the main topic of the Billie's viral photo, that she was blonde, but as an artist, you can choose what's important for you, and for me, important was her face expression, and that's what I wanted to show. And here's the final piece. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments and see you in my next video. Bye!